So, my experiences with sports titles on Game Boy consoles have yet to really tickle my pickle all that often. There have been the odd one or two here and there that amused me, but most of them I just struggle to review due to both a lack of interest in the source material, which is on me, and game after game of poor performances, which is not on me. One I did enjoy, however, was the Japanese exclusive baseball game released on the Game Boy Advance called Pawapoke Pocket 3. It was a bit mad, to put it simply. The protagonist in that game dies in the opening sequence and is resurrected as a robot by some nutcase professor. Why? Eventually to play baseball, I guess, but not before working menial jobs in kitchens and stuff to earn cash. Again, why? I don't know, man. This franchise is wild. Well, anyway, that main protagonist is the same guy you're playing as here, except this being 2 games earlier, he's not dead yet. There's a character building element to these Power Pro games where you need to train, exercise, learn, all that stuff, as well as, oddly, go on dates. In fact, the story mode is so narrative driven you'll start to question whether it's a baseball game at all, but I promise it's in there. The story revolves around Gokuaku High School, a place that was your villainous enemy in Jikyo Powerful Pro 5, which was an N64 entry in the series that this handheld one is a spin-off from. Now it's become the protagonist's home, and the setting for a redemption arc unlike anything else in baseball gaming. Think delinquent classmates, a crumbling team, underground conspiracies, and a dream of reaching Koshien, which if you've seen my Pawapoke Pocket 3 review, you'll know is the kind of national junior championships of baseball in Japan, where all schools from across the country can compete in it. You're not just playing baseball here, you're rebuilding a fallen school and challenging fate itself. You play as a school transfer student, unnamed as is tradition in the series, who arrives at Gokuaku High in the autumn of his first year. The baseball club is in ruins. The seniors are complete delinquents. The team destroyed in an accident, quote unquote. Only your best friend Kameda sticks by your side. But your dream of going to Koshien won't die, and so begins the quest to rebuild the baseball club, recruit new members from other sports teams via minigames, and face off against a slew of rivals, some friendly, some sinister. But there's more going on. In the background, a mysterious organization called the Propeller Gang pulls the strings from the shadows. By your second year, a girl named Tomomi transfers in. She's beautiful, confident, and a spy. She suggests sabotaging enemy teams to win. You of course refuse because you can't get satisfaction from something you get in the wrong way. That kind of babyface moral stance is what defines the emotional core of the game. As for the actual game, at the heart of Power Pro 1 lies its famous success mode. Unlike typical sports games where you just grind for better stats, here your choices actually matter. Do you train hard, hang out with friends, date a girl, fall victim to illness, random misfortune, or even death? Yep, all of those are on the table, and the systems are deceptively complex. Fielders and pitchers train differently. Pitchers improve through practice rather than point allocation, kind of like in Power Pro 5. There's even a blood system. If you get injured or hit by bad events, your injury risk rises. What's fascinating is that it's incredibly easy to create overpowered characters, at least in this first game, which was a little bit unbalanced when you compare it with the rest of the series. It's possible to train your power stats to A level, which is the top level, in a single game if the team morale is high and you end up winning. On the flip side though, randomness does kind of rule everything. From whether your childhood friend Asuka becomes your girlfriend, to Kameda dying in a random traffic accident before the finals, an event that actually has a 17% chance of happening if you have 9 fielders in your team, by the way. So the game can just pull the rug from under you at any time. Here's the thing, right? If you're a sports game purist, the baseball action in Pawapoke Pocket 1 is not really for you. It's very, very simplified. If you're a bit of a duffer like me, however, it might be right up your street. Defense and base running are fully automatic, and they're not very smart. If your runner has a speed of B or higher, then infield hits are almost a guaranteed way for them to get to the next base. Pitching is just as exploitable as well. If you can train up a single nasty curveball pitch, most CPU batters, won't know what hit them. However, the downside of that is it can make your pitcher a bit of a one-trick pony with kind of mediocre stats everywhere else. The fielding AI doesn't really scale with the difficulty from what I've noticed, so if you're good at timing and can aim, it's fairly consistent to just win all the time. Once you get into the weeds of the game as well, you might notice several bugs. So like the pre-match strength of the enemy team is often misdisplayed. Strength ratings of teams don't always make sense. In Mizuharu's minigame, a delay in cursor movement makes it impossible to get a perfect score. And oddly, this is a weird one, right-handed batters are penalized due to a bug with the versus lefties trait, making lefties strictly better. So, the elephant in the room, right? This dating mechanic. The girlfriend system here is, how do we put it, chaotic. You might think it's nuts to even have such a mechanic in a sports game, and well, you'd be correct. It's all to do with your character's mental. While some girls like Tomomi are relatively straightforward to romance, others like Asuka or Norika require random event triggers, specific conditions, and of course a bit of luck. Without those, the player can end up alone, or worse, suffering psychological breakdowns on Valentine's Day, which actually affects how well he plays baseball. Initial stats are also wildly inconsistent. These random events I mentioned, they can make or break a character. Your pitchers have randomized stats like stamina and control and pitch types and that, so a character might be a star right off the bat, pun intended, or totally useless. But hey, despite its jankiness and bugs, Pawapoke Kun Pocket 1 was the seed of something bigger. Its direct sequel launched the following year, also on Game Boy Color, and continued to build on this success mode foundation, straightening a lot of bugs out, making it more balanced, all that sort of stuff. Then, number 3, of course, which I've already talked about, go watch my review on that one to see just how nutso the series starts to get. At first glance, Pawapoke Kun Pocket 1 is just a quirky baseball game with chibi graphics and some light RPG elements. But if you start peeling back the layers, you'll find something much deeper. Something that blends comedy, tragedy, sci-fi sometimes, and sports into one unforgettable experience. Yes, it's clunky, yes, it's random, and yes, sometimes you'll get unfairly wrecked by bad luck. But this is a game that had the guts to do something no other sports game so far dared to on the Game Boy. Tell a story where your decisions mattered, where failure was not just possible, but meaningful. It might be rough around the edges, but the first Pawapoke game, as it's sometimes shortened to, is a cathartic, bizarre, and endlessly fascinating gem. A flawed gem, but a gem nonetheless, and the beginning of something truly special.